In 2019, grocery shopping in South Africa still meant one thing: getting in your car, driving to the store, and doing everything yourself. You had to find parking, walk the aisles, stand in queues, and if you forgot one item, you either went back or you lived without it. Then Checkers launched an app with a very simple promise: groceries delivered to your door in about 60 minutes. At first, it just sounded convenient, but over time, Checkers 6060 became something much bigger. Because 6060 did not just deliver groceries, it changed what customers expected from shopping itself. That matters because groceries are high-frequency purchases. People do not buy them once a year. They buy them every week, sometimes several times a week. So, if a retailer can own that habit, it does not just get one sale, it gets a recurring relationship. And that is where 6060 became dangerous. When 6060 launched in late 2019, the app looked simple. Open the app, choose your groceries, pay, and wait for delivery. But simple for the customer usually means complicated behind the scenes. Because for 6060 to work, Checkers had to connect stores, stock, pickers, drivers, payments, delivery zones, and customer support into one smooth system. If one part failed, the promise failed. If the app showed the wrong stock, customers would get annoyed. If delivery was late, the whole promise starts to fall apart. And if the order arrived with missing or damaged items, customers had a reason to go back to shopping in-store. That is why the real product was not the app. The real product was trust. Then just a few months later, the world changed. The pandemic pushed millions of people to rethink how they shopped. Online shopping, which had been growing slowly in South Africa, suddenly became a practical necessity for many customers. But 6060 stood out because it did not work like traditional e-commerce. Traditional e-commerce says, order today, wait a few days, track your parcel. Whereas 6060 said, order now, get it today, maybe within the hour. That changed the category. Checkers was no longer just competing with other grocery stores. It was competing with the customer's decision to leave the house. And once customers realized they could skip traffic, parking, queues, and the stress of shopping, the value of the service became obvious. One of the biggest reasons 6060 worked was store density. Checkers already had stores close to customers. Most technology startups that enter delivery need to build everything from scratch. They need warehouses, inventory systems, logistics networks, fulfillment hubs, drivers, customer support, and brand trust. Checkers already had many of those pieces. Its store could act like a mini fulfillment center. That meant orders did not need to travel across the country. They could be picked from a nearby store and sent directly to the customer. This is the hidden advantage. The app was the part customers saw, but the store network was the engine underneath it. And in grocery delivery, speed is not just a nice extra. Speed is the business model. But speed was not the only advantage. The second advantage was data. Every order helped the system learn what people buy, when they buy it, how often they reorder, which products they replace, which promotions they respond to, which areas order the most, which items are bought together, and how shopping behavior changes over time. This creates a powerful loop. Customers order through the app. The business learns from those orders. The experience improves. The offer becomes more relevant. The customer comes back. And the more people use the system, the smarter the system becomes. That makes it harder for competitors to catch up. Because competitors are not trying to copy an app. They are trying to copy the data, the delivery network, the customer trust, the store coverage, and the habit that Checkers has built. 6060 also helped shift the Checkers brand itself. Before, Checkers was mainly seen as a supermarket, but 6060 helped it turn into a convenience brand. That is important because customers do not only choose stores based on price. They choose based on how the experience feels. Is it easy? Is it reliable? Can I trust it? Will it save me time? And will it reduce stress? Once customers associate a brand with making life easier, that brand becomes part of their routine. And once a brand becomes part of your routine, it becomes much harder to replace. That is why 6060 became bigger than grocery delivery. It changed the emotional relationship between Checkers and the customer. Checkers was no longer only the place you went to buy groceries. It became the brand that brought the grocery store to you. As the platform grew, the numbers became harder to ignore. 6060 was no longer a side feature. It was becoming a major retail engine. But the most important part was not just the sales growth. It was the change in customer expectations. Once people got used to ordering groceries from their phones and receiving them quickly, other retailers had to respond. Pick n Pay, Woolworths, and other players all had to improve their delivery services, strengthen their apps, and compete in a faster digital retail market. That is what happens when one company resets customer expectations. Everyone else has to spend money just to keep up. And this is where 6060 became more than just an app. It became a competitive weapon. Then came the next big move. 6060 began expanding beyond groceries into a broader convenience platform. Because once people trust you to deliver bread, milk, fruit, vegetables, and dinner ingredients, the next question becomes obvious. What else can you deliver? Household essentials, pet supplies, small appliances, homeware, everyday items. The grocery order was the entry point, but the bigger ambition is owning the everyday shopping habit. And that puts 6060 in a much larger battle, not just against supermarkets, but against delivery apps, online retailers, marketplaces, and any business trying to own convenience. Because in modern retail, the winner is not always the company with the most products. Sometimes it is the company that removes the most friction. That may be the most important lesson in this whole story. Checkers did not win by inventing groceries. It won by making life feel easier. It combined a trusted retail brand, a large store network, customer data, fast fulfillment, and a simple promise people could understand immediately. Groceries at your door in about 60 minutes. That is powerful because the best business ideas are often simple on the surface and incredibly difficult behind the scenes. 6060 did not really sell technology. It sold time. And time is one of the few things customers always want more of. So how did Checkers 6060 change grocery shopping in South Africa? It changed the habit. It changed the expectation. It changed the competition. And it changed what people believed a supermarket could be. Because in the past, grocery shopping meant going to the store. Now, for many people, the store comes to them. And in modern business, the companies that save people time often become the companies that win. This was behind the business. If you want more breakdowns of the companies changing South Africa and the world, subscribe and let me know which company you would like to see covered next.